What exactly is AIBI? The very essence of it, it's an AI-powered interface that allows you and your colleagues to ask natural language questions about your data to get to the insights and answers without needing to write code. As you can see here in the examples available, that can cover a variety of topics. That can be broad, so for example about sites here as a whole, or something very specific, in this case about fuel consumption. In general, you could get some of these pre-built by experts from us, or as a user you can figure these spaces on your own and share with the wider teams, similar to what a colleague has done here for me. Cool. So as discussed earlier, we will be diving into fault codes today, so let's select the fault code expert. As you can see, it comes with some questions to kick you off, which is really meant to show users how to use it while at the same time providing some guidance in terms of which insights to expect from the expert here. But of course, hey, this is merely a starting point and you should then go ahead and ask your own. So let's do that. What I'm curious first is what data the expert here is working with. So what do we get here? We have 3 tables, one around machines and then 2 fault code and error code related ones. AI was able to understand what I wanted and then describe the data that had been added. Pretty cool starting point, but what are we missing here? Our fault resolution information from earlier, so let me go ahead and add it here as well. What happens here is that AI has now an additional data source to work with, so new context when answering the respective questions we are asking. Let us check out how AI understands the data and how this could help us further. So I'm asking AI to tell us more about the suggested error code resolution. What comes back? The table contains fault codes, detailed descriptions for each fault and recommended steps or actions to resolve the machinery fault. Sounds pretty good. So now that everything is in place, let's explore together. What are the top 5 fault codes? While I'm typing the question, let me briefly explain what happens behind the scenes. What happens here is that a query is being generated in the background by AI to actually query data from the lakehouse. So very similar to how you would work with a data analyst or business analyst, only now that you are able to get to these insights yourself. So what do we get back here? An overview of the top 5 error codes, a description for each, as well as the frequency, how often they actually occurred. That's awesome, that's exactly what we wanted. On top of that, we even get a visualization which you could share internally or just use for your own record. Now, I'm interested in the trend of that error code. Is it happening more or less frequent over the last couple of months? So let's ask. Let me type out the question and get AI to work on this while we sit back and relax. And again, we're getting an overview of the results with daily frequency of the fault codes as a table. We also get a visualization, and it seems that they actually occur all the time, so something to look into. All of what we've done here so far is doable on existing data in the lakehouse. No further data needed. But here's also where your own context can matter. So let's ask, what is the suggested resolution for the error code? And here we're actually getting the information that we've provided through the Excel file earlier. Let me pause here for a bit. I really want you to ask yourself, when analyzing the performance of your mixed fleet, how long does it take you and your teams to get to insights that are actually actionable? Would it be even possible for your teams to get to those insights right now? Or do they have to engage with other departments to get a custom analysis done that then takes time to get to? I really want you to think about the efficiency and speed to insight your team members and colleagues would have utilizing functionality like this, where instead of hours and days, you can get to the strategic value in minutes. Now, that was the first AIBI experience. Let's say you want to make some of the reports more permanent information and allow your team members to engage with it. Let's move on here to AI-assisted dashboards. Again, we can see a variety of use cases that can be driven via dashboards, whether that's around utilization, sites, fault codes, etc. So this time, let's pick something else and go for the idle fleet dashboard. We want to observe the cost of idling fleet. So in essence, when a machine is running, but maybe not creating as much value. So what do we have here? We see a global footprint of our machines and where fuel consumption is high during idle operating hours of a machine. Apparently we have some around the Toronto, Canada area, but then we observe a lot in the UK. So let's double click on that. London, Sheffield, Manchester areas definitely seem to stand out here. What else? We can also see idle hours over time and how it breaks down into respective machinery types. Next to that, we can get an overview of how much fuel was consumed during the idle operations of the machines. Seems to have been quite bad over the course of 2021, where then some interventions seem to have occurred at the beginning of 2022 and 2023 again to drastically reduce it. Okay, nevertheless, what's the associated cost with this? Hey, on the one hand, one could argue that idle operating hours reduce the machine year value, of course. For now, I want to move on with an analysis on fuel costs during the idle periods. As you can see on the top left, very small, there's a fuel price of 1.8 euros per liters that had been set. Hey, you're free to make changes to that at all times and the entire dashboard would update accordingly. But the key analysis seems to be still missing. In this case, I actually wanted to show you how easy it is to take it forward from here and how easily it is to build or enhance dashboards yourself. To do so, I'm editing this version, scroll into the bottom and then add a new visualization. You can either build it yourself by multiple selections or AI makes it again easy for you. Just type the information that you would like to see in there and a suggestion for a visualization is being created. So, what's the year-over-year total fuel cost? Again, within seconds the chart is created and I can add it to the dashboard. Interesting. In this case, I'm wondering whether the granularity of year-over-year is sufficient. So let's go for month-over-month as a line chart instead. Let me quickly type in here exactly what we want for the AI to focus on and create, and then see the visualization that is being created. So, super quick here again, you have the visualization that's needed, this time in a different format than before. Amazing. Hey, I don't want to stop here though. I actually want to see how this translates into a forecast going forward. So what I'm adding here is an AI forecast that, as you will see now, is directly creating an out-of-the-box forecast based upon your historical time series data. I can then decide whether to keep the expected range or just go with the forecast itself, which I'm actually doing here for now. Great. Hey, as I'm feeling good about these results, just from a couple of minutes of work, I might want to share them with a colleague. So I published the dashboard and I enabled the AI functionality, so allowing questions to the data again, which means my colleagues can actually dive deep and double click into the respective results. I now see a version of the dashboard with the respective information we've just added. Now, everyone who has access could engage further using AI to ask follow-up questions to the entire dashboard or just double click on a single visualization. So for example, asking here to further explain the forecast or outlook. In the interest of time though, I'm gonna move on here. Speaking of everyone who has access, I could go ahead and schedule this report to be updated on a certain cadence and invite my colleagues to get the same report. Domokos, I'm doing that with you right now. So stay tuned for getting the updated report, including the AI forecast to your inbox on a daily basis. As an alternative, hey, I could also just share normally as a one-time report for everyone to see. One thing that's also worth highlighting is that the data behind those graphics could also be downloaded by colleagues. So it's really a way of distributing information around the organization. Great, that concludes the demo part 2. Domokos, you were on my dashboard sharing shortlist. Any exciting stories to share from the field on what this enabled for our partners to achieve?
Well, I'm sure we can all relate to the thousands of fluctuating fault codes that we receive just on one piece of equipment on an hourly basis, not even talking about daily. So finding those that really matters is a challenge. So what we have seen is that with the fault code expert, fleet owners have already boosted their first-time fix rate, saving $150,000 plus in labor cost on about a 2,000 machine fleet, simply by troubleshooting 30% faster. If you imagine rolling this out to larger fleets or to specific service technicians, we can see the impact increasing further with the multiplier of 3. Then we tackle the idle optimization, a very straightforward but powerful use case. We have seen 10 to 20% idle reduction. That's 250,000 liters of fuel saved every year. worth more than 300,000 US dollar. So in today's economy, with these simple, straightforward, and very impactful use cases, we have already seen tangible business impact across our fleet owners implementing IrisX.